Hello and welcome everyone for yet again another post-match reaction show. For all the audio listeners listening on Spotify, what a game that was then, Reds. What an absolute thrilling game. End to finish, beginning to finish, or whatever. My voice is gone. I'm absolutely knackered. It was levering it down in Merseyside tonight. If anyone did go to the game tonight, you enjoyed that. But anyone watching it was obviously a fantastic, fantastic game to watch, probably at home as well, or in the pub or whatnot with your mates. Let me know your man of the match shouts as well in the comment section below. Obviously, this is the post-match review show. I'll have a little natter, but I'm more interested what every single one of you Reds do you think around the world. So, obviously, the link for this video is obviously going out live for obviously everyone watching on Facebook or YouTube. The link is in the description. If you want to pop in, have your say. Obviously, there'll be a 3-minute timer. So for the audio listeners, there will be some guests and obviously supporters of the channel popping in, having their say on the game. That's what I want, really. Less of me talking, and obviously more of you all talking anyway. So hopefully we have a couple of Reds coming in tonight. We've got one very special guest, a good friend of the channel as well. But quickly, we'll get to Henry's super chat. Straight in there. We are in the semis. What a game, and what a turnaround from the Manchester game anyway. But a massive thank you, Henry. And speaking of Henry, obviously you have joined me, mate. Thank you for the super chat, mate. Very much appreciated. Just summarise your thinking behind what was a thrilling game. What was your thoughts on the game, mate?
Well, thank you very much for the start. Well, what a game! I mean, it's when you saw the Manchester game, and then what we've seen tonight, it's been completely. I mean, two different teams played. I mean, excellent performances all round, apart from Mo.
Yeah, well,
I think Mo Salah was off his game, even though he scored.
Yeah.
And I think Darwin Núñez was much better tonight.
Henry, I gotta go straight into it. Obviously, I think with Mel, he's obviously just coming off the bench, really. It's quite difficult, really, and it makes it to impact a game of that magnitude, really, coming on. But he's done the job. It's what Mel does, really. He's on the pitch for small minutes, but yeah, fantastic point you've made there in relation to Darwin Núñez. I was very fortunate to be in the ground tonight, and he done everything apart from scoring, but my vantage point in the ground, especially in that second half, obviously Darwin Núñez playing down that left-hand side of the attacking three this evening. I had no better place in the ground to actually just analyse his game. And it was absolutely amazing, mate. Like, it is his movements. I know obviously he was caught off a couple of times, but I'll tell you now, that line, well, both linos were really struggling to keep up with the pace that Liverpool fluidity up top. But what really impressed you tonight in relation to Darwin Núñez?
Well, I know we've been slating him quite badly, and he hasn't had his confidence. But I think overall, his movement. He could have scored, but it hit the post. But he was working so hard to link up, and he provided with the assist.
Yeah.
So that is exceptionally good. So I don't have any qualms about Darwin Núñez.
Yeah. It's his build-up play, mate, and Chav, obviously let us know your thoughts off the back of what Henry said here. Like, his overall game for Liverpool has been absolutely fantastic, really, in terms of his build-up play. Whoever the lad that keeps on joining, just let us know. Having a couple of technical issues. I'll try and sort that out, mate. But yeah, I'll try and sort that out in a little second. But if anyone wants to jump in, let us know. Jump in the stream as well. Make sure you do have a camera and obviously audio and everything. Don't want to be adding anyone random. But yeah, his build-up play, Henry, straight back to Darwin Núñez. we've seen in recent weeks since his time at Liverpool anyway, obviously getting a goal against West Ham a couple of weeks ago anyway at the Anfield fixture. The thing is, we just need him to start banging goals, as you alluded to there. But I think do you reckon when that eventually starts, everything starts falling into place in terms of his finishing, he's gonna be one of the best attacking forward strikers in the whole of Europe for me.
Yes, and I think because we've got Diaz and Jota to come back, it's because when Marnie and Firmino went, I think we all thought about that transition. Was it going to be a smooth transition?
Yeah.
And I think, yes, it takes time for players to actually mould into what Klopp wants.
Yeah.
And I think it's just starting, I think, to actually get there. Because you've got Dom and Gakpo and others, and it's coming together. It's taking its time, but it's coming together.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think Arsenal should be very worried come Saturday.
100%, mate. 100%. Just before you do get off, mate. Anything else that you want to speak about in terms of the game as well? You've mentioned obviously the forward line. I think obviously. I'm speaking of Kev. Hello. Hello, Kev.
Kev,
turn your camera that way, love. You can. Lance, there we go. Landscape. There we go. Just Henry's done a round off here, mate. Just any closing thoughts on the game for you, mate?
Yeah. I'm glad we scored 5.
Yeah, 5.
And I look forward to Saturday. And I will say very quickly before I leave, is my celebration for 1 year of doing my channel is in 10 days. So I would appreciate as many of you guys to turn up. It's at 9 p.m. on the 30th. So, but I appreciate it, Jack, to allow me on your channel, and enjoy the rest of your evening, and up the Reds. Let's go.
Get him, mate. Have a lovely rest of your evening, mate. Thank you for popping on and supporting the channel, as always. But that was Henry. Obviously, anyone watching on the repeat, I will obviously drop Henry's channel link in the description as well. But absolutely. Kev, I'm guessing you haven't got a voice, mate, because were you sitting in the new Annie Road top?
Yeah, that was loud.
Lad, I was going to say, like, for anyone, I don't know if the camera picks, I said to Sam and a couple of lads around us, we were all going, bloody hell, like, that was absolutely bouncing, mate.
Yeah. I was right in the mix of it, man. And most of the lads that were around me were starting all the sing songs. So like I would start, there was a lot of scousers next to me, and they were starting it. Like my wife and her father were there, and like, you know, my wife is an inkling of some of the songs, but like the father-in-law doesn't know it because he doesn't speak much English. Yeah. But he was singing it by the end of the night. You know what I mean? So,
Wembley.
Oh, it was brilliant because we were literally above, because there was a whole line of West Ham fans right below us, and like the whole bottom tier of even that stand was West Ham fans, and like they were just, every time we sang, I'm telling you, I haven't felt like a noise like that since being in the World Cup.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. And the noise, the way it's able to capture noise and send it back onto the pitch is something fantastic. Them lads must have felt that there tonight, because I think every single person was trying to sing their heart out in the stand. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Mate, I could tell it from the lower Kenny anyway. I was interested, obviously, just not to dwell too much on the comments, but if anyone's just coming in back from the game, or you're waking up to the post-match and you didn't see the game, but Klopp in his presser, I've just looked before we went on air, very much having a go at the main stand, obviously the stand behind the dugout, more or less saying, me and Kevin spoke about this week with everyone on the channel, I've been disappointed, not just this season, but the last couple of seasons at Anfield. Basically, Klopp just saying, if that's the same atmosphere behind him on Saturday, then just don't bother turning up and give your tickets to very much someone else. Big up their side.
The Kenny Dalglish side was singing away. I could hear the cop, but it was drowned out by the noise of the Anfield Road, because you could always hear the cop when it's in full voice. But even though we could hear it and it was coming back at us, it's just you could feel the vibration of what was being sung back onto the pitch. It was just fantastic to be a part of, and I'm really happy that I got my new seats in that stand now. To be honest,
lads, it's going to be absolutely booming, mate.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that now.
Yeah,
because I think the issue, and I'd say that was probably even louder than the cop, mate, tonight. I think obviously me being on in the middle of both sides, the cop on my left and your lads with that side as well. But it's regardless of the atmosphere, Kev, there's probably a lot to touch on. I mentioned with Henry the vantage point I was in. I think Darwin Núñez, as we've said in recent weeks, pick up their Cyborg. Just give us a thumbs up if you're ready there, mate. And I'll bring it in, mate. Of just waiting on Cyborg to get sorted anyway. Yeah, I'll bring in a little second, mate, anyway. But Kev, thoughts on that? Just anyone really that stood out for you tonight?
Elliot had a fantastic game. He was all over the pitch for most of the match. I know he didn't get a goal, and I know but he was one of the most positives. Szoboszlai looked a lot better than what he did in recent weeks, and that man can strike a ball. And Curtis Jones stepped up fantastically well for me. I thought Joe Gomez was fairly much all over the pitch as well. If you want to count that, he did a lot of running tonight. He was tired on the left when he was moved to the left hand side. He was fairly tired by the end of the game. Who else? Bird's effortless. Kwanzaa was very good in the defence, very calm and collected.
Well, I like the way he carried himself after conceding that goal. It could have been extremely easy for him to get his head down and then concede another one, but I think that his reaction was absolutely exceptional, and it just shows the development really that young Kwanzaa is doing at Liverpool, mate. The midfield for you, Kev, how did it work in terms of Dominic Szoboszlai really going forward, getting in? And obviously, we didn't see that against Manchester United.
He was picking up some great space spots, and him and Elliot were picking up some great space. They're really good at picking up open space. And Endo had a great game tonight. He kept retrieving the ball back, kept cover, winning it back, and starting to play forward. The most disappointing out of the whole team tonight for me was Costas. He was so wasteful with his touch on the ball. Yeah. And I again and again, every time a Crosby ball came to him, he would take a touch, and he had a hard touch like a glass hammer. Yeah. And for me, it's not good enough for Liverpool. I've seen him a few weeks back, and he was okay, but tonight it was just poor. He did okay in certain segments, but there's no getting anything positive going forward out of him.
It's when he has time to think. And big up Jay. How are we, mates? And massive thank you for coming on after the bloody result that you've had anyway. But just quickly on Costas there, Kevin chat. I think it's a notable drop off. I think when we go from Kelleher to Alisson, obviously Alisson being the best goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, there's going to be a notable drop off. Similar with Costas, Robbo being one of the most consistent left backs in the last 5 years, and even when Robbo has a dip of form, obviously the whole footballer world's going, oh, Robbo, shit. But he's not really. He's probably been one of the most consistent Liverpool players under Jurgen Klopp. But Jay, massive thank you for joining me, mate. Disappointing from your lads. I was disappointed being in the ground tonight. I was saying to the lads, I was very surprised James Ward-Prowse, but very much what we discussed 2 nights ago, mate, come to fruition. David Moyes given, yet again, Liverpool far too much respect, really. Disappointed? I'm guessing not.
Guide, mate. I'm going to be honest. It was just West Ham turned up for a kickabout in Merseyside. That's as simple. It's as simple as that. Liverpool deserved to win. They were the better side. You had one side who was prepared to win. The other side was prepared to defend. And listen, I've just done something on E20, and people are mixed. Like tonight was a sackable offence, and was for me really was. You go there. you're in a quarter-final of a cup competition and you play a side that is deemed fit for Lincoln away. Like, it really is. Like, I thought it was embarrassing at the start. I thought Liverpool were attacking us all the time. I think we held out as long as we did. I think we was lucky to be at half time 1-0 down. I'll be honest with you, he could have been 2 or 3. I think when we come out second half, I think the second goal kills us. I think Curtis Jones always turns up and plays well against West Ham, especially at Liverpool. I think the third goal's a good goal. We score a goal, come back in it, and then we just go dead.
Just go back into what you've been doing in the first 45.
Yeah,
innit, mate?
and it was just embarrassing, Jack. And the thing is, what's hurt me more tonight is we didn't look like giving you any problem whatsoever. The moment the team sheet come out and we looked at it kicked off, I looked at us and I thought, no, we're not doing nothing tonight. And
can I mention a player that I've seen him quite a lot. I was very close to the touchline tonight. Obviously, I mentioned with my vantage point with Nunes as well, but Benny, like, I don't know, like, his body language was probably one of the worst body languages and that's speaking about Everton when I was at the game last year when they come to Anfield, but the body language was absolutely atrocious, really, from Ben Rahman down that left-hand channel, mate.
I've backed this geezer up ever since he arrived at the club. I've had a lot of hate from a lot of West Ham fans in regards of backing him up. I can't back him up anymore. I really can't. He was just terrible, mate. I could have gone over to Merseyside into a local park,
put your boots on that,
and found a better player. I really could have done. But I don't get me wrong. I think there's about 6 players tonight, 6-7 players who was absolutely shambolic. Yeah, in our team especially. I think the whole of the defence were all over the place. You got Angelo Bonner, who's about 45 years old, and he's playing. It did not make no sense, Jack. It really didn't. Like, you're going to Liverpool, you know it's a big game. It's a quarter-final. It's a chance. If you beat Liverpool, you've got a possibility of winning this. So really, tonight was a final, and you show up with a team that is just makeshift. Like, the midfield was getting bypassed every single time. There was no midfield. Every time Liverpool got the ball, they was going straight for our midfield. And I feel embarrassed tonight more than anything. I really do. Like, that's the thing that does me tonight. I can't listen. I had Liverpool fans in my chat, right? And I'm holding it tonight because I've got to be honest. Yeah, it was just embarrassing. As a West Ham fan, it was the most embarrassing performance I've seen. Like, I can hold 5 at Fulham to a point. Yeah, but this means more. Yeah, you got 6,000 fans coming to the ground to Anfield tonight, singing their hearts out, travelling up, can't get back home because there's no trains or anything.
Yeah, it's disgusting, mate.
And Moyes just puts out a team that is just disgusting. I'm being honest.
It's just shocking, mate. Kev, obviously you were above the Hammers tonight in your stand. They didn't stop singing. Like most away fans never stop singing. And as Jay's spot on there, like even very rare we see a performance like that, but it does happen sometimes for Liverpool where we're just not at the races, really. But what did you think about West Ham? I think when we spoke about it 2 nights, all 3 of us, I think I expected West Ham, but it was almost like they were stuck in first gear, and it was almost, oh yeah, we get the goal, and then, but there was even no reaction after that first goal that they got, and that could have really set them. We've seen Liverpool in the past really go back on the back foot, start questioning themselves, but West Ham really didn't make it do that to Liverpool tonight again.
Yeah, I expected more out of West Ham, if I'm honest. I thought they were abysmal. That's the only word I like. Sitting there and I'm watching them both halves. I'm sitting behind the goal in the Anfield Road and right above the fans. In fairness, the fans kept singing. I heard about at least 15 renditions of Bubbles throughout the night. So that was, and they were nice and loud and proud, and I know singing songs, throwing the banter back, trying to throw the banter back, but by the end of it, it got to like the 60th minute, and I saw half the fans start clearing out. I could see why they were pissed off, and more than kind of turning around and like giving out to Liverpool fans. Some were having banter. They were more likely, most of them were just shouting towards Moyes in the dugout and saying things, and screaming at him, "What's this? What are you putting out? What are you doing here?" And Moyes and his weird looking, I'm a really awkward PE teacher outfit, as I sitting there on the sideline, just he's screaming at lads to do stuff, but nobody's paying any attention to him in the team. And I'm sitting there going, what are you shouting for? Expecting these lads to do anything for you when they barely get game time? Some of these lads barely get game time after time, and you're asking them to step up in as I said, a loud night. If it's nighttime at Anfield, you're playing Anfield. You can turn up to Anfield at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 12:30 in the morning and see less of an atmosphere. If you got the lads in the boozer all day around Anfield and they're going in singing their hearts out at 8 o'clock at night, no matter what night of the week, it could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter. If they're in there under the night lights in Anfield, you're going to be shook because they're going to be noisy, they're going to be at it, and just West Ham didn't turn up. They didn't give the fans anything to shout about. Bowen was probably their only shining light for me. He was getting in around, he was receiving the ball, he was laying it off well, and you could see why Liverpool were interested in him. And he was a very busy guy up front when he had the ball and he tried to get the ball. But then, so when he was left, Liverpool just kept turning over West Ham's attacks. Even Darren Núñez was getting back all the time. He won the ball about 4 or 5 times from from a West Ham attack. Harvey Elliott won a few times. Endo was sticking his leg in around him the whole time, winning the ball. Curtis Jones was there playing anchor well off him. There was just no fight. I seen 2 attacks that maybe the ball went out for a long ball and it just went out of play. Like a lot of times, just over from one side of the pitch to the other, and just a lot of and just giving up. And this wasn't even this was at nil all at 20 minutes gone. And that started the kind of process for me. It was just seeing, is this West Ham team going to turn up? It was a bad night now in fairness to the weather, but are they going to turn up? And I said, this is a weakened Liverpool side. They're starting a majority of what you would call their second string cup team, if you're going to play that. And I know West Ham did the same, but a lot of those guys were well more experienced than some of the lads that ran Liverpool's team. I expected more of the West Ham. They were abysmal, if I'm to be honest.
Yeah, it starts from the first second, mate, of the game, like leaving for ours, West Ham, any team for that matter. I think the precedent really is set in the opening 60 seconds of any game, even when we've watched Liverpool in the last year as well, especially in the results where we weren't getting results over the line. It's just the body language, and it was quite evident, as we've already Jay alluded to before. We spoke about David Moyes as well. Jay, where do you go from, obviously, off the back of this result? It's quite damning, really. Obviously, focus, obviously, now does switch, still in the FA Cup. Obviously, European silverware still on the table, as we discussed 2 nights ago, mate. But how do you feel? How do you anticipate this team and the fan base to react to this on the weekend?
I honestly don't know, Jack. I honestly don't know, because tonight was something that I've never thought I'd see with Moyes. Yeah, I really wouldn't. When you sort of go to Liverpool, the problem is it's the circumstances that it's irritated a lot of fans. Really is. Like, there's no train from Liverpool tonight. You got 6,000 fans there tonight, and people the way he's approached this game tonight is embarrassing. It's basically like he's set up in a way to just turn up there and defend for our lives, and basically defend for a draw. Like we didn't look like giving you any ag whatsoever. And even after the first minute, something you just said just a minute ago, and I'll make you 100% right. After the first minute, I'm seeing attack after attack after attack. I'm thinking it's going to be a long night. And the problem is that it was 5. It could have been 10. Really, on a different night, it's different. If Salah and Trent are all the big boys are on the pitch, we're holding 10. So I honestly don't know. It's going to be hard to take this one tonight, and a lot of the fan base are going to be aiming their anger at Moyes, and rightfully so, because he's turned up tonight and he's took a liberty to a point. He really has, and he's just allowed Liverpool just to have a kick about in Merseyside and give us 5 again. And the problem is with the situation with Moyes currently right now and West Ham as a whole is he's holding 5 as twice now. He's held 5 in the last few weeks, and Moyes didn't used to do that. Like, if we used to lose a game, we'd lose a game by the odd goal, and we was always known for that. But now we're starting to hold a few hammerings, and I didn't expect us to get hammered tonight, but we did, which is a shame.
Yeah, disappointing, mate. Oh, obviously, there's a couple of people that want to jump in. Jay, but a massive thank you, mate. If you need us through the week or whatnot, need us tomorrow, me and Kev would definitely jump on a show, mate.
No worries at all, mate.
yeah.
I just want to say this. I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Nice one.
Have a good Christmas and all
Thank
that.
you,
And all the
buddy.
best to you for 2024. All the best to you for the rest of the year. And I'll see you in the beginning part of 2024,
Yeah,
mate.
definitely, mate. Have a good Christmas, mate. From everyone.
Take care, mate.
Cheers, matey.
Yeah.
Nice one, La. Yeah, spot on, Jay. So please, mods, if you can drop obviously Jay's channel link, or for the audio listeners or anyone watching the repeat, Jay's channel links to EZ20 Zone on YouTube and all social media platforms as well. Getting K-Mac on the channel. How are we, fella? And
top of the moon.
Top of the moon, lads. Summarize your thoughts on the game. It's much better, wasn't it?
Is it going to take something like this for Klopp to realise that inverted is just a big pile of dump?
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many times this season I've almost fell asleep watching us.
Yeah.
And you look at that team, and it's just a breath of fresh air. Like, you've got midfielders who've got space to run because they haven't got loads of people on top of them from their own team. I mean, if I've got any negatives, it's probably the fact that our strikers got in the way of our shots today. And we probably could have had more because they blocked them.
Yeah.
And that was Nunes and Gapco.
Yeah.
Got in each other's way of their own shots. I mean, look, Gareth Southgate's got to be licking his lips now.
Oh, he has to.
There's 5 England internationals in that team who could play for another 5 years easily for England.
Yeah.
Like, how he's not looking at Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott now is beyond me. I mean, Joe Gomez, like, if Curtis Jones didn't score 2 goals, Joe Gomez was man of the match.
What's your thoughts on Gomez this season, mate? I think me and Kev spoke this week.
Absolutely sensational. Like,
one of my most consistent.
Solid as a rock.
Yeah, sure.
Like, nothing gets past that guy. He's massive. Like, he pushes players so far wide, like, to get past him now. And it's really interesting, isn't it, that you've got Dom, who's been playing badly, yeah, and we all know why, because he's basically covering Trent's ass all game. Like, take away that responsibility, and look what you get. You get an absolute monster. You get the Leipzig Dominic Szoboszlai playing for you.
Yeah, it's a great. Yeah, carry on there, sorry.
No.
I was just going to say, I mean, it's a great point you've raised, and Kev obviously came back spot on there, mate. I think even in the ground when I was analysing the movements and okay, Max said, obviously, I was saying this to the lads as well, where we were sitting, and it's like the preoccupy, especially in the Manchester United game, obviously ball players behind the ball, but I think Trent and Szoboszlai very much preoccupy very similar positions in the pitch, as K-Max alluded to when he goes into that inverted role. Did you notice about Szoboszlai's game, to add on to what K-Max said? I think he was he had a bit more license as well, didn't he?
He was saying it because Trent wants to play. I've said it. We bought Dominic Szoboszlai to come in, whereas if you were going to move Trent forward, he would have replaced Jordan Henderson on that right hand side. But if you already have Dominic Szoboszlai there, you don't need Trent there. So either turn Trent into a number 6 or keep him at right back. One or the other. And
I mean, you brought him on as a number 6. What happened? He got 2 assists, and he basically done a 60-yard splitter right through their entire team onto Salah, and that's Salah's bread and butter. Like, how many times have you seen Salah do that? He used to do that for Fiorentina. He used to do that run from the middle of the park, like in the centre circle. He used to stand there and wait for the long ball. And because he's so fast, and he's still fast, he's still really pacey. Like, he just knows when to make that run.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Nunes made so many great runs today.
like
we just never gave it to him. Like, if we can get that right, honestly, Nunes is a serious contender as well for being one-on-one a lot, because the amount of times he made that run and we just didn't give it to him. And then he keeps on getting offside, but he gets offside because we delay the pass. Like how has that not been drilled into players now? He's been with us 18 months. Like, we know exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And he's going to stop doing it.
Gakpo for me has been slowing him up as well in his progress because when he drops back into that position he kind of likes to tend to move to the left, and when he doesn't play it to Nunes on those runs at all. He takes a cut inside again and he's looking for his own shot. I've been disappointed with the selfish. I know he got a goal tonight, but I've been disappointed with the selfishness of Gakpo and the way he's been playing in the last few weeks and his inability to be able to pick out other players that are around him, unless he knows he's crowded out at the edge of a box. If you give Manny a little bit of space, he's going to try and take a shot, even if that space is still blocked beyond towards the goal. It's just not going to happen. Curtis Jones tried to find Nunes a couple of times. Endo is always guilty of moving it back to the right to supposedly, and if Salah's out there, it's always going that way. If it's out there,
we're so right-sided dominant, though, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like the team is so right-sided
We don't
dominant,
trust
which was really good to see today. That the fact that because we had Gomez there, Shimikas was getting forward, and that meant Nunes was getting the ball, and that meant Jones wasn't just doing all the grunt work, because Jones has done a lot of grunt work recently. Like, he even said it in his interview. He said, "I've got that in my locker. Like, I want to score more goals. I can score more goals." But he's not been able to because he's been too busy having to defend. But because we had a DM, funny that. Not an inverted, a DM.
Surprise, surprise, right?
Not like a fake DM.
Yeah, well, and shout out Endo as well, boys. I don't know if the camera's picking up on it, but it's watch them in the ground. I don't know if it translates well. I'm guessing not if you go on Twitter. Is face touch, the amount of times he scans, obviously being the sick you need to, but is scanning before he's even got the ball and very much on the swivel and on the sixpence really is absolutely remarkable. I think the one thing, and it's difficult, especially when, as we've seen in recent weeks, where you got Szoboszlai and Jones or whoever is the two partners alongside him in recent weeks, he's willing, he's always starting that forward press and forward motion really, Endo. But it was a solid performance for me. I'll let you in with a secret. Well, not a secret, but I don't know if the camera's picked up on it. From my side, I was second half, could have literally whispered in Darwin Núñez's ear. It was that close to him. He was absolutely fuming when Gakpo scored that. I tell you that now. Obviously, everyone celebrated, and I can get where Núñez. That's what we want, though. We want. And obviously, he wasn't angry at him. He was made up for his teammate, but you can just sense how much he wants Darwin Núñez. He wants a goal or whatnot. But there will be a match week this season, boys. Hopefully, a couple of match weeks where he just absolutely buries everything, and we're like, off that there he is. Like, there he is. Welcome, Darwin. But the thing is, as we spoke about, all of us, he's creating so much off the ball. That's the most important thing, K-Mac, in it. I don't think any of us would have issues. We'd have issues if he wasn't doing all that legwork, as you alluded to before, in terms of creating that space, diverting, splitting defences open as well. Any other players that we haven't mentioned, K-Mac, what really impressed you that you've mentioned as well?
He's the pre-assist man, isn't he, this season?
Yeah.
Like, he's the guy before the assist. And he got an assist today. That was a great ball that he played into to Jones.
Yeah.
I will say something though, and it's hard for me to say this, but I've got a feeling that we get a better Salah if we bring on an angry Salah, and we bring on a Salah that wants to prove a point. And today, it's hard to not look at Harvey Elliott and think that's like a Foden performance or a Bernardo Silva performance. Like, seriously, like, he was making so many runs in between their defenders and midfield. Nobody could pick him up. He was the guy that was creating everything. Like, literally, it was him and Curtis Jones that won that game individually. Like, they were just absolutely sensational. Like, Jones, like, I think he's like 98% possession ratio today. Like, he just didn't give the ball away. He must have touched the ball more than anybody else. Elliott was everywhere. Elliott was putting those crosses in.
Especially the first 20 minutes, when it was a bit like
sensational,
bit grumbly for Elliott, like in the ground even. Hence why. But I think we have been on a show with UK Mac a couple of times already, last couple of seasons, and we've spoken about it. We don't want to be using too much of Elliott, obviously coming back from that bad injury in which he did have, but it's promising, boys. Obviously, Kev going into the big game on Saturday. And chat. Is anyone else? We are going to be rounding off for the next 5 minutes. But if anyone
Who'd you
wants to
play?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Who'd you
Kev,
play?
who
Do you
won?
play? Do you play Diaz? Because I don't think Diaz gets in that from free
No.
now.
It was interesting that Diaz, when come on, he was through the middle. Kev alluded to
I
this.
know. I
Yeah.
like that as well. I did like that. But what was he doing? He was looking at his feet again.
Yeah. Head down, jog on.
Mm.
Milan Barra syndrome. I said
He's
that to the
never
guy that was
looking
sitting
for a
next to me in the
pass.
stadium. Yeah. I said that to the guy
Never
next to me
looking for
in the
another player.
stadium that he's got Milan Barra syndrome, where his head goes down when he's running with the ball, and he does it, and he's got no left foot, so he never crosses the bloody ball with his left foot, never goes up the byline. I'd like to see what he can do through the middle, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're gonna bring him on in games where Darwin Núñez is struggling, but you still want Darwin Núñez to stay on the pitch. If Gakpo, let's say, is having a poor game, or anybody else is having a poor game, you could take Gakpo off. You could move Núñez out left, who can still be very effective from the left, and have Diaz go through the middle and just cause a bit of chaos in there, just to open up space for Salah and Núñez. To be honest with you, is what you want him in there doing that. And I think he's more effective doing that than he is on the wing. Because when he's on the wing, you know what's going to happen. He's going to turn back on his right. He's going to trickle right. And then sooner or later, he's out the gap. And then somebody's not taking the ball off him. And that's it. You know, so
And you know what? And you know what happens when the ball gets taken off him? We're completely out of position because we're completely right-sided dominance. So we're lopsided, and they break and score. And it's happened like 4 times this season.
Yeah.
Through Diaz losing the ball because he didn't look for the pass and he tried to take someone on. And we got done by Fulham. We got done by Luton. We've been done by a couple of other teams as well, off the top of my head.
Brighton.
Could that happen against Arsenal? They're very, very good on the break.
Yeah.
So like Jurgen's already set out a warning, even for the fans anyway. I'm guessing you've seen it, okay?
You know what concerns me, though? You know what does concern me? Jones played 90 minutes. Elliott played 90 minutes. They all played 90 minutes. Those players that had the best games that you think would be the ones which would come in. Gomez played 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, is he just going to revert back to
type
inverted and then we end up with another crap game where, you know, maybe Arsenal do something daft that turns our crowd against them.
Yeah,
or we rely on another worldie, because at the moment, literally, like I won't say much else, but literally this whole season has been about individuals, and there's
100%.
only 4 of them in the team.
Yeah.
In that formation, there's only 4 individuals in the team, and it's Ali, Trent, Virgil van Dijk, and Salah. There's nobody else there. With that formation inverted, that's all you're going to get. You're going to get something out of those 4 players. But it doesn't matter what formation you play. You're always going to get something out of those players because they're all world class.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make the rest of the team function. And what you've just witnessed tonight is the team functioning.
100%, mate. 100 was he?
But he didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
He didn't have a choice. He had to play that team.
Yeah,
which is
him.
What annoys me the most. That wasn't by design. Like, he didn't pick that team and go, oh, you know what? They work really well together. I'm going to play them. Because you know he'd go, no, I'll play Gravenberch again because he works really well with Dominic Szoboszlai. Not.
It's a great point you've raised there, mate. And obviously, you're very welcome to jump on the channel tomorrow. I think we should be doing a build-up show, mate. I'll drop you the message anyway. But for any,
I'm doing a show with Jamie to talk about strikers, which will be interesting.
No worries, man. I'll make sure it's a time where you are free, mate.
Give me a shout, mate. Drop us a message.
So obviously, you can stay on, mate. We'll round off a little gap after we've rounded off here, mate. But Kev, quickly, boys, we'll get Kev's man of the match. Chat, get your man of the match in. Quick man of the match, Kev, for you tonight.
Well, it has to be Jones. Followed closely by Gomez and Elliott.
K-Mac?
Yeah, it's got to be Jones. 7 shots, 2 goals, 98% completion. Like a monster.
100%. Full house for our scouts. Master or Maestro. Twitter's probably going to be on meltdown because he can't whinge at him for a week. But yeah, it's going to be good. Happy days, Reds.
The Jones agenda.
Yeah. He only gets in the team because he's Scouse. No, he would. Like, that. Yeah, that's another.
He might go and play for Nigeria at this rate.
Yeah,
They're looking at him.
Yeah, well, it's one of them, mates. But obviously, K-Max channel link will be in the description, and obviously YouTube as well. For the audio listeners, K-Max, just shout out your channel, please, mate.
Oh yeah, K-Mac channel. Yeah, I do a lot of guesting on other people's channel, and yeah, every now and again, I actually do a video myself.
Is it all on YouTube, or have you got other?
Yeah, all on YouTube.
Yeah, all good. So happy days there. Drop a follow as well. Kev, shout out your channel as well, please, matey.
Yeah, at Spider LFC on YouTube and Facebook. And you'll find me also on Twitch at Irish Spider Guy.
And you will see Kev in me gaff in about a couple of hours' time anyway, a couple of about 24, 48 hours. Hopefully, yeah, you'll be paying rent soon anyway. Oh, good lad. Enjoy it, Kev. And obviously, safe travels to obviously your family as well, Kev. And obviously, for all the Hammers, any Hammers watching, safe travels back to North London anyway. And enjoy it. Look after yourselves. We will be live tomorrow. I haven't got a time, but keep your bell notifications on as well. Probably looking at about 7 p.m. As well. UK time, GMT, that will be. Obviously, if you're listening on podcast, drop us a review. Let us know your thoughts on the game as well. And everyone, look after yourselves. Drop us a follow on Instagram and obviously TikTok as well. Don't worry, I'm not dancing. None of us are dancing. We'll be dancing after the performance tonight. But Reds, look after yourself. You never walk alone. Happy days. And Liverpool, and we didn't even speak about the team. We'll do that this week anyway. Obviously, we got a decent draw. Expected that you would have kept Liverpool and Chelsea apart. Means more money for Wembley and all that in a couple of months' time. If we do get past the semis, that is. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But Reds,
that's why the draw was delayed then, wasn't it?
Yeah, the rigged, good out, the Redknapp Brigade anyway, doing a solid there. But yeah, Reds, look after yourself. A massive thank you as always. If you are watching on the repeat, the absolute legends. Big shout out to obviously Henry as well for the super chats. Big shout out to obviously Nigel as well. Really appreciate everyone for the super chats as well and for the continued support. Even if you're not dropping a super chat, thank you for everyone popping in the panel tonight and everyone in the comments as well. Very much appreciated. But Reds, see you tomorrow at 7. And if I don't, have a good start to your weekend. Enjoy it, behave, and you can have a walk alone.
Up the Reds.